Hey everyone, and welcome to the Ninja Chickens channel. My name's Maria, and you can find me on Instagram as ninja.chickens and on Ravelry as Ninja Chickens, and you can find all the show notes at the ninjachickens.org website. I am obviously not in Asheville anymore. I am in Maine, in the great North Woods at Bradford Camps for the Wool Scouts retreat, and I thought I would take you along with me for these next 10 days and show you a little bit about what this retreat has and all the things that we get into up here. So I hope you enjoy.
Hooray. Let's go flying.
I am certain we are ready, standing firm, feet planted steady. I know this world is heavy, arms loaded, drawn back, gaze steady. Though my visions, I speak my tongue. Learn to steer my pace, my run. I leave no trace, but the moment's coming. We'll build bridges for our daughters and our sons and find your way, find your way. Whether you fumble or sing graceful, darling, find your way, find your way, find your way. Whether you fumble or sing
So the
graceful.
girls are setting up the goodie bags in here
Alright,
for
we'll put this over
everyone.
here so that it's hot. Oh,
Sarah, do you want to show me what's in one of these goodie bags?
yeah. Is it too dark in here?
It is a little dark. Maybe let's move over here.
Did you get a bag? No, I haven't gotten a bag. Let's see what's in the bag.
Let's see what's in the goodie bag.
So, these were done by the fabulous Christina of Matterroot.
Step this way just a tiny. There you go.
Yep.
Then you're in the sun. Look at that.
Done by Christina of Matterroot, and she designed the logo. And she did the bags, and then she did these really snazzy bandanas, because there's nothing handier when you're in the woods than a bandana for washing your face or, I don't know, lashing trees together. And then we got this great chocolate from the Bixby Bar Company, which is out of Rockland, Maine. And this I picked up with peanut butter and sea salt.
Delicious.
So could you get me a book out, Janny, before you put that away? We're being really organized. Christina also did these fabulous little notebooks for us. And
Those are perfect.
I know. So that's all going in. And then I had to include my most favorite wool in the whole world, which is Nash and Flat Island. So everybody's getting a skein of Mucklemarl, which is kind of the latest release out of Starcroft that Mary Jane and Janny kind of designed and came up
These
with.
ladies
and-
right
yeah,
here.
who are Mary Jane Mucklestone, who's going to be doing some teaching. Maybe familiar with her. And Janny Estelle of Starcroft, she's going to be doing some teaching as well. So we also got pins. We got Fiber Trek pins, which I can't locate right now.
We can grab one of the other bags
Yeah,
and
grab
just
one
take a
of
look
the
at
other
that.
And so that's the Fiber Trek pin.
There we go.
And then we took the Bradford logo from the Bradford camp and we did that as a pin for everybody for a moment.
Nice.
So, yeah. So,
Sweet.
and then my friend at Rich Pond Herbals, who's Carrie, she does a really nice hand salve. It's called Maine Woods Romance, and it's kind of pine and evergreen and olive oil, and so we put a little bit of that in everybody's goodie bag, so you can kind of smell the forest while you're knitting, even though you may not be at Bradford. So I think that gets us
Yep.
pretty close.
Yeah, and there's something on how to tie knots.
Oh yeah, there's
knot
a
tying
knot tying
booklet.
book, because
Yep.
there will be a knot tying class. You can have your handy dandy reference wherever you are, should you need to do a trucker's hitch or a bowline, or a bowline, I guess. And yeah, so we're done stuffing them. I think we're gonna take a nap now before we get too into the recording.
So I thought I'd give you a little tour of the camp before everyone comes in a few hours. The first group will be showing up by plane. This is the cabin that I'm staying in. They are all completely off the grid. So in the evening when the lights go down, when they power down the generators, you have little gas lamps that you can light. And there's a bunch of little cabins here in a row where everybody will stay. There's a bunch more down past that last one that you can see. And then this right here is kind of the main camp space. It's the cafeteria and kitchen and a hangout room. And we do a lot of the classes in there, and then more classes out here in this field. And you can see Ruby. Ruby dog. She's a sweetheart. She loves it out here. So here's the Munsungan Lake, and that is the plane, one of the planes that flies everyone in, and you land right there on the water. I'll take some pictures of that later so you can see. But the lake is big and beautiful, and there's always a lovely little breeze coming in, and lots of docks where you can hang out and knit, and sometimes even see moose and other animals across the lake. And then out here behind some of the cabins, of course, there's a hammock for enjoying a little relaxation. And then there are the gardens. They grow a lot of their food, so the food that you get in the cafeteria, in the kitchen, you'll get fresh salads, you'll get fresh bread, you'll get fresh maple syrup from this area, which is amazing. This is the field where we'll do some fly casting later on. And then back there is a bit of a plane museum and workshop. But one of the couple who own the Bradford camps is related to, I think, the grandson of the man who invented the helicopter. So he's a fabulous flyer and also has some amazing things in there. Here we are at the gardens. We've got some apple trees, some roses, and then zucchini, squash, corn, peas, all kinds of yummy things to go into our salads. Rhubarb. They made a strawberry rhubarb jam for us to have this morning on our toast. And we are here surrounded by 3 million acres of woods. It's basically out in the middle of nowhere, and it's quiet. At night, once the generator is turned off, you basically just hear nothing. Sometimes you'll hear loons out on the lake. You may hear other wildlife, but it's quiet, 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 which is pretty amazing because where I am, though I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, I hear crickets and cicadas and foxes and owls, and it's always noisy at night. But here it's completely quiet. Here come the first crew. They've just come in from a flight about 45 minutes to an hour from here. crew's getting settled in and he's heading back to pick up the second one. Only 4 knitters will fit in the plane at once. You can only get so many in each trip. Probably about 6:30 this morning, the first full class day. Everybody arrived yesterday, and we had a really nice afternoon yesterday, doing some knitting and getting to know one another. We sat out by the bonfire in the evening and watched the stars come out, and then a few of us headed out to the field out there by the garden to watch the Perseid meteor shower. Tonight is supposed to be the peak, but we still saw 7 or 8 big shooting stars just in the small amount of time that we were out there. So this morning everybody will wake up slowly, then they'll ring the big breakfast bell out here on the porch of the main cabin, and we'll come in for a lovely breakfast. Occasionally there's moose sightings and bear sightings across the lake. We saw one last year right there. We're going to start today with Color Class by Mary Jane Mucklestone, and I think we're going to be taking a hike up Munsungin Mountain right there.
Colors go all the way around the garment, right? So your yarns are going to go all the way around. So in Fair Isle knitting, it looks like you can see many, 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 many colors. Like, right, there's a lot of colors, but there are never more than 2 in every round.
Standing firm, keep planted steady. I know this world is heavy. Arms loaded, drawn back, gaze steady. Though my visions, I speak my talk. Learn to steer my pace, my run. Not leading
So Bradford Camp is in the great North Woods of Maine, which is out in the middle of nowhere and gets very, very cold in the winter. So cold that they actually pack up camp and head on south and close things up for the winter. But the lake completely freezes over. So much so that they can come back in January and actually cut chunks of ice out of the lake and put it in here. This is all covered in sawdust, but if you dig down deep in the sawdust, you're gonna find ice. It's right down in there. Let me show you. Once they cut a chunk of ice out of the lake, they put it in there, cover it in the sawdust, and then they can use it all year long. So it is now August and there's still this much ice underneath. And that's how they keep things cold. So in here, here's one small chunk of ice left. This is lake ice that they grabbed out in January and piled up and continued to use throughout the summer. So they have been supplied with ice since, I believe, the late 1800s by doing it this way. Pretty cool. Chunks of ice. I'm going to be working with some dyes along with eco printing tomorrow in the class. So I've got some cochineal that I am grinding up on a rock so that we can put it in some hot water and use it as a dye. So tonight is Sunday night, and it is supposed to be the peak night of the Perseid meteor shower. We saw a bunch of falling stars last night when we were out in the field, but I've decided that I want to sleep outside tonight. So that is my bed. I'm supposed to teach tomorrow, so hopefully I sleep a little bit. It's going to be hard on the dock, but I can look straight up to the sky and watch the meteor shower when I wake up at night, and I can't think of a cooler place to sleep right now. Okay, so you guys won't be able to see this, but I am staring up at the stars right now, laying on my little dock, waiting for shooting stars. I'm out here with my friend Elizabeth, who's Atmosphere. She's watching the stars with me. We've seen 2 so far tonight, just randomly, but now we're really searching. It's supposed to be the peak night for the Perseid meteor shower, so we shall see. Can you guys hear that? It's loons in the background. Oh, and there goes an owl. So cool. There's an owl going and loons going like crazy, and there's people talking at the bonfire.
It's like the cacophony of night.
Right. Monday morning has begun. We've had a lovely breakfast, and now everyone is hanging out in the chairs by the lake, doing a little knitting while I set up my class. I've got a little display here of some of the things that you can do with eco printing. And then we've got our plants and their little kits. And I'm going to have everyone go and gather some of their favorite shapes and colors and get started.
Claim my truth.
lake that you can see. And there's a few people out there fishing. I thought I would show you my progress on my sweater. There's been a lot because it's the only thing that I'm bidding on right now, and I really want to finish it because it's really fun. So let me show you. I have finished the body up to the sleeves, and I've used Ellie and Ada, a bush and a peckle colorway, Rock and String Creations, and I'm not sure what this colorway was, and Spun Right Round, and that's the Space Highway, and that one I just started up here. And then I cast on for the arms, and I'm doing them 2 at a time, and I used up all the rest of the Ellie and Ada, and I'm almost done with all the rest of the Rock and String Creation. And then I'll move on to the Spun Right Round, and then this final colorway will be the neck, and it's the Jill Draper Purple Ghost. I love how it's turning out. I really, really love it. I think it's going to be a super cute, comfy, casual sweater. And I love this hem. I've never done a hem like this before. Let's see what it is called. It's called a cording stitch. I've never heard that before, but I love it. I love the way it looks. So it sounds like someone's just come in to start the tea and the coffee. And we're going to have a great day of fun classes. It's the last day for the first group, and they'll head out tomorrow. And then the second group will come in. The class went amazing yesterday. It was a lot of fun. People got some fabulous prints and seemed to really enjoy themselves. We did a lovely reverse applique class this morning, taught by Sarah. And now I'm going to sneak up on a felting class, or making felted beads.
To make Play-Doh balls. Now you can see it's even. Wow. So this is hot water and this is cold water. Yeah. So I'm basically, those scales are opening up and then I'm putting it in there and going. So you can see how much it's changed already. Yeah. If you wanted a soft ball, you could leave it at that stage, but I like them good and hard. I like to get my aggressions out right at the end. So now I'm like really pressing down and rolling at the same time. My balls really soapy. Scrunchy balls.
I'll make sure to put the audio on this one.
Yeah.
Nice.
I believe in history, the informal
see it blowing across the water. Just the
Oh, I know. It's
rain
a lot of
blowing
rain.
sideways across the water.
40 miles an hour.
Yep. It's nice that the second crew finally made it through.
Yeah, 18 is white cap, like 21 is white streaks from the air, and yeah.
The second group made it in about an hour ago, and it's been settling in, and a huge storm just blew in. It's nice because this area has been in a bit of a drought.
For 8 long years and many places I've been. The journey, she's been my muse, that's been.
Hello. So the second group is in. They got in this morning, and it's been amazing. We had a tremendous storm come through just for 30 minutes or an hour yesterday afternoon after they all got here, and that was a lot of fun. And then it brightened up, and now it's a beautiful, breezy, sunny day, and everybody is out in the field right now doing some eco-printing, so I'll go over there in a sec and show you what they're up to.
I'm in your skin, and that's before I'm in your skin. Now I'm sitting on the front porch in the sun. I'm just sitting here all day. I'll wait for you under my big old magnolia tree, 'cause I got so much to say. Like, baby, take me to your boat, take me to your ocean, baby, darling, please take me fishing, whoa, take me fishing with you.
It's Friday morning, and the fog and cool weather has rolled in. A couple days ago, we were all jumping in the lake because it was so hot. Now we are wearing all our woolies. Hey everyone. It is Friday morning and everyone's in class right now, so I thought I'd take a moment to say hello. I can't believe it's already Friday morning. We leave in 2 days and I don't want to go. It's so peaceful out here. Oh, you just forget about everything. They feed you well, you sleep like a log. You know, there are times when you just don't hear anything and the silence is so amazing. So it's just been a wonderful trip. Both groups, both sessions. You know, it's like summer camp. You come in and no matter what walks of life you come from, when you have that thing in common like knitting or fiber, everybody just gets along like best friends. It's really nice. So yeah, let's see, what have we been doing? We saw a moose. Well, we saw a moose on the last day of the first session, which was really nice. That happened last year too, so hopefully he'll make a reappearance. It was just back behind me. It was a young moose. I don't know if it was male or female. It didn't have any antlers, but it seemed kind of small. But that was really cool, because we definitely don't have moose in Asheville. Yeah, and I've been going around and picking up pieces of white birch bark, because we have black birch in Asheville, and white birch puts out this really awesome paper, basically. And I thought it'd be really neat, because Kaya likes writing poetry, to bring her back a nice strip of it. I don't know if it'll focus, but there's a lot of layers in there, and she can maybe soak it for a little bit and peel the layers apart, and then have some really cool paper to write on. You know, I think that would be cool, to write a nice long poem and then have it hanging in her room on the wall. And then for Leaf, I was going to give him 2 of these things that were in our goodie bags. Well, the goodie bags were Madder Root goodie bags, which if you've ever had a Madder Root bag, you know they're really well made. And it's got the Wool Scouts label on the front, or the logo, which is really cute. But in there we had two things. This one, the first one, is a knot tying reference, which is great. You know, Leaf is all into outdoorsy stuff, so I thought this would be fun. It's got the constrictor knot and the double fisherman's knot and the bowline and the rolling hitch and all of that, but it's a quick reference. We can keep it in his pocket and try and, so he can remember how to tie knots. And then this one is 4 different cards on both sides that have things like the leaves of the northeast, common ferns of the east and mid-east, hawks, eagles, and vultures, and all identification things. And it's super cute. And then I wanted to show you something. You may have seen it in the pictures that I've taken so far. Last year, I know if you're part of this, if you've listened to the podcast before, you know that I use something called blankets, sometimes to put color on my eco prints, and I just use ripped up bed sheets because cotton bed sheets are great for carrying the dye color that I want to put on my prints. And this was a ripped up bed sheet that I brought up last year, and Sarah, who's the organizer of Wool Scouts, said, I'm taking that home and I'm making a tunic for you out of it. And so this is what she created. It's from one of her favorite patterns, Anne Carolyn. It's the Anne Carolyn smock. And let me see if I can find, I think my favorite piece of it is this right here, where you've got a fern print coming out of it. Look at that. I hope it's focusing for you. And the back. Some of these just gorgeous prints. Let me see, here's the lupine. Oh no, that's a Vitex print. So isn't that awesome? It's got some little rips here and there because it was an old bed sheet, so I'm going to do some embroidery stitching or something on it to strengthen it. But I love it. I think it's beautiful. The classes went really well. I taught the second one yesterday, and it was so much fun. I think everybody went home with at least one paper, because we did 4 sheets of paper with different techniques. But I think they'll go home with at least one that they really love. From the first session, there was someone who was doodling on it, which was beautiful. And then right now, there's someone else who's folded hers kind of into an accordion book with a little clasp, and she is embroidering some of it, which is so cool. I'll take some pictures of that a little later and show you. But yeah, it's been absolutely amazing here, just being in the middle of nowhere, and the crew that runs this camp is so kind and very giving, and they make fabulous food, and it's just been beautiful. If you ever get a chance, they have this camp from April through October. It's an open hunting, fishing, wilderness kind of camp, so you can come with your family too and spend a week here, fly out in the plane and spend the week on the lake and just enjoying nature. We've had a couple bear sightings not too far from here, and some bear scat that was seen on a little bridge not far. They have black bear up here. It's not grizzly, so we're not as worried about it. But but yeah, the bear and the moose and loons and kingfishers and an eagle. I don't think I told you about that yet. We were all out in the one field area and heard the loons really close. There's about 5 or 6 of them that float around together, and they were making a lot of noise. And then we looked out to see where they were, and a bald eagle came just diving down towards the water. It wasn't going for the loons; it was actually going near them to get a fish. But it came really close, and I was standing there with my camera over my arm, just looking out, going, "Whoa, that's so cool!" And then he finally flew away, and I was like, "Oh, dang it!" I had my camera right with me, and I didn't get a picture. But it was really neat. So anyway, I'll keep taking pictures and videos for you, and then hopefully I can get this all put up when I get home, so you can just have a full-on Wool Scouts experience.